Well, Rachel, we can either kick off the meeting. There's really four of us that I think are premier members, or we can reschedule for next Wednesday instead. What would be the preference?
Uh, yeah, I think we can pursue. Maybe there are more folks to join, or I can open to all the audience here and see if y'all would like to proceed right now or reschedule this to next week. I'm okay either way.
So Stefano was first to the call, so you get a vote first. Or Ab, it looks like you came off mute. So
Yeah, I'm okay either way. I think next week there's the board meeting, governing board meeting. So just if we do it, we should try to do it earlier. I mean, at this time before the board meeting, unless, especially if we have something to
well, we can just
get
showcase
out.
all the great things we did at CC Summit. I think it's timely. So I think let's go ahead. It looks like Cameron joined too. So it looks like we have some good attendance, and I think that I don't know if we hit quorum, Rachel.
We don't have a quorum, but that's a standard. And then I don't think not all the meetings have quorum, so then that should be fine.
Okay, great. Well, let's just go ahead and kick it off then. I think we have enough attendees that joined early, which we appreciate you for joining, and we can just kick it off and give some great updates.
Sounds good. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks, Laura. And first of all, and always just wanted to remind everyone that this meeting is governed by the Linux Foundation antitrust policy. And then you can find more information at linuxfoundation.org/antitrust-policy, or feel free to reach out to me or Mike Purcell for more details. And this is a transparent, collaborative, and harassment-free space. Our goal is to support data protection and the adoption of computational computing technologies. I don't think we have new members here. And as always, and we'd love for all the returning members, and thank you for your contributions to the committee. The next is agenda review. So here's today's agenda. Are there any additions or changes anyone would like to propose before we proceed? If not, then we can continue as planned. Next is approval of previous minutes. We currently do not have quorum. If there are any corrections or objections for the minutes from June 10th, and please let us know. So I don't hear or see any objections either ahead of the meeting or in this meeting. So we will approve the minutes from our June 10th, 2026 meeting. The minutes will be considered approved. And here are some usual reminders. Our community is very excited to have everyone contributing and to help you get started and take the best advantage of the resources and membership. And here are some resources that are available to you. First is a reminder to please post your organization's jobs to our jobs board, and that can help you connect with the top talents. And also, please share your news by subscribing to monthly newsletter and submitting your announcements via the content submission form. All those forms will be distributed in the minutes. And also, please follow the blog post and pitch your blog post ideas via the content submission form as well. And don't forget to showcase your membership. And you can always display the member badge on your website and link back to the CCC website to highlight your engagement in CCC. And as always, please stay connected by following our CCC events calendar to keep track of upcoming events and meetups. And lastly, please join our Slack channel to stay informed on all the community news and also share your insights with us. Next is executive director updates, and I don't see Mike Bristol on the call. So Laura, do you have anything to cover for this?
I can actually cover a couple of things. So we're going to go over CC Summit and some of the opportunities there. We're super excited about that. We did get a very good lead list, and Mike Purcell will be following up. We do have 3 drafted emails, pre-canned emails about all the successes of CC Summit. So for everybody that was able to attend, thank you for your contributions there. It was very successful. You're going to see that we had a huge social impact there, which we're hoping led to more views on our website. So we're going to go over that. Angela will go over that in a second. And then there is the We Are Developers Berlin. Mike will be presenting at that, as well as NVIDIA will actually be there as well. I don't know if there's anyone else on the call, Stefano, Cameron, will you guys be presenting there on confidential computing?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
No, too for me.
Okay. So I'll add that bullet to this slide, Rachel, so we can showcase that NVIDIA will also be there talking about agentic AI and confidential computing in the era of agentic AI. So jobs board, there is an opportunity to add some jobs to the jobs board. So if you haven't done that already, please do so. This is Mike's, average ask in each of the meetings, saying like, please do add any jobs that you have open. NVIDIA does actually have a couple of things, a couple of opportunities. So I'll be adding those in today before end of business. So I think that should cover Mike's section.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. And the next section is events. So I'll hand over to you, Laura, to cover updates.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So as you know, CC Summit commenced a couple of weeks ago. It was very successful. We had tons of representation across the Confidential Computing Consortium. Mike Purcell was interviewed by, was it Tech World, I believe, Rachel? Keep me honest. And they highlighted all of the impact of confidential computing, and they really spoke a lot about attestation. So I think that's going, verifiability of that trusted execution environment will still continue to be a very important aspect of our story and our narrative. And as you could have guessed, there was a huge shift around agentic AI. There was a lot of coverage there, but the CCC was already ready for that topic, and we had InfoWorld. Thank you, Rachel. The article that I mentioned a little bit earlier that Mike was quoted in was InfoWorld. And so, yeah, we had the right topic and strategy, and it very nicely aligned to our mission. And then Angela and Dan, I don't know if Dan was able to join today, were able to get the website up. So special thanks to Ab. I don't know if Mike Farron-Jones is on, but also thanks to Mike Farron-Jones, Rachel, of course, who worked so diligently to make sure that our website was live. So we can go straight to the next slide. So we did break it down into 4 moments. We did have 4 phases, which was plant the relevancy. How important is confidential computing in today's agentic era? And then build the anticipation. We had a lot of posts there with a live webinar as well. And then, of course, owning the moment. We did have a keynote panel and technical sessions. So thank you to everybody that joined those and helped make that successful. And of course, we had an event recap blog that just went live. Angela, I think that was it Sunday night or Monday that went live?
I think on Monday.
Okay. So that went live on Monday, and we can put the link in here in our minutes so you guys can see that. And thank you again. Special thank you to Rachel and Angela, who really just did an amazing job, along with Kate. She did an amazing job driving all the social, and then Angela just executing to perfection, and then Rachel being on top of every single post, making sure that we were amplifying across the consortium. So if you didn't get to see all of those different posts, don't worry. We have a strategy deck that we can share with you with all of those different assets that we published multiple blogs. We did surveys, we did polls, we did live moments at the event, and I just thought it was extremely successful. So again, we're going to look at some of the web metrics next, and hopefully some of that drove visibility into our new website launch. So I think, and again, I'm not going to read all of the different things that we did. I kind of summarized it, but oh, this is the work group. Yeah, this is the website, which will lead into Angela. So if you haven't seen the new launched page, you can see it today. It did launch right before CC Summit, so we tried to time it directly to that. And we were hoping to get some good stats between then and now. But of course, there was really only 8 days, and some of those were weekends, and it was a holiday that was coming up. So I'm going to pass it over to Angela now to give us some stats on the latest.
Thank you, Laura. And yeah, we weren't able to track before and after since it was only a few days after we launched the website, but hopefully by next meeting, we were able to see the differences when the time span is a little longer. But for June in general, we did see a huge surge in all kinds of aspects. So starting with the page views, we had up by 30.5% of views and 37.2% of visitor growth. And then our top content remaining the homepage, about members, about page, and what's surprising, well, we also expected that. So the Confidential Computing Summit page was also being top 5. So showing a really strong interest across the community regarding the event. And we also have our white paper reports being number 4th, current project as well for the 6 top content. And then for traffic sources, direct being the top 1, organic search second, referral, email, organic, etc. For top geographies, it's pretty much the same, US being the top, China second, India third. And then in terms of the hardware, we have desktop being the top hardware of logging on to or checking out our website. So yeah, definitely things we did on our socials, on our content complement this all the growth of all these aspects. And then let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, so social, we also see a huge growth in the audience number, impressions, and engagements. We had over 100 new audiences on LinkedIn, which is 107 new followers. And our impression comparing to May 2026, we had up by 288.8% of growth, and then engagement 224.1. So these are both very impressive numbers. Definitely the things that we were doing. We're working, all the live social posts, all the webinar promotions and all. And as you can see, the impression overview, we had couple peaks across the month, and the top one being the June 18th. Actually, it was about the recording available of that webinar that Rachel was being part of. So yeah, if you missed the social post that we posted in the last month, please feel free to check it out on our LinkedIn page and engage, amplify if you can. Those really help drive the traffic and engagement as well. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate all the wonderful updates, and thanks everyone for being part of this wonderful event and journey. And next section is other business. We don't have any other business submitted ahead of the meeting, so I will now open the floor for any updates, questions, or additional agenda items from the committee audience.
Oh, I forgot to mention Rachel's amazing job on the webinar. It was fantastic. I loved it. I watched it twice. So thank you so much for driving that, Rachel, doing a great job with your questions and the follow-up there. So again, special thanks to Rachel for driving that. I did want to cover 2 things that came up post the event. And I think that it, just in full transparency and the opportunity to always be growing and learning from each of these engagements. And again, Angela, thank you for the marketing update. Like, I am so excited to see that growth there. And I'm excited for Rachel's and my strategy that we're going to be trying to execute the second half of this year. I know we're already slightly into the second half, but she and I are looking to do more digital content. So this is where I'm going to need the consortium members to just lean in if you can. I'm going to put an updated strategy together around some things I think we could execute on a monthly basis. I think we have the opportunity to talk about, attestation was a big hit this year. I know it was a topic last year as well at CC Summit, but I think the verifiability of confidential computing is so important, right? To prove out that your TE has not been tampered with. So I think that there's going to be some opportunities there. So we'd really love to see if we can get, Mike, Ab, others to talk about that verifiability, that attestation piece. And then, of course, talking about the different use cases, anything that you have that's live, we would love to post that and then amplify socially. So we'll be putting some funds behind digital opportunities. But in an area that we also know that there's areas that we can grow in. There were some decisions that were just executed very quickly because we had a very short window of opportunity to execute on them. One of those areas was Rachel's webinar that she hosted. And we opened it up to folks that we thought could tell the narrative really cohesively and had been on panels together before. But we did hear that we should have opened that more broadly to more consortium members. So moving forward, any events that we have, any awareness that we have of opportunities to present or be part of webinars or do a session, we will have that opened up to everyone. And so we can just quickly vote and make it fair and equitable for every single member, not just Premier members, but every member. So I did want to bring that up in this meeting, that is definitely an opportunity for the next big event. So that was the only thing I wanted to highlight. We can definitely do a post-mortem if people are interested in doing that. But that would be probably a separate one-off call with the folks that are interested in doing that on CC Summit or OC3 that commenced in March earlier this year in Berlin. So those are the two things I want to highlight. Is there any other areas of business that others would like to raise up right now?
I think the postmortem will be important. There were some challenges on the dates for the CC Summit. I think that compressed the timeline. Like obviously I don't know if it is just the outreach or maybe just at the governing board level, but I'll leave that to you to discuss, I guess, with Mike and Nelly. Yeah, and there was some logistical. Don't get me wrong. Overall, it was great. It was really actually very, as really more than the venue was great as well. But there were some challenges, like the acoustics were really bad in some of the rooms, and I know a lot of people complained about that actually even during the conference itself. So. Again, that's logistical, but I think more important, it's the timeline was very compressed this year, and I'm sure many of us felt it when we were preparing.
Do you mean the Linux Foundation putting it all together at the end of April and asking for submissions in a very quick turnaround, things like that, Ab, or did you mean something specifically different?
No, I mean overall. I mean the thing is, like basically previous years, like pretty much I would say December, by December of the year before, like we roughly know the dates of submission for papers and the timeline, at least a rough one, right? Not like exact day, but because they were changing in the way also it was organized, right? So it was before that it was 100% opaque, right? So then also the fact that it was a change in like split organization, it just like, and I get it. I get it. It's probably I'm hoping it's a one-off, but as it was this year, it's not sustainable. I worked a lot of weekends to prepare for this one. Let's put it this way, and I really don't want to do that again. Maybe I'm expressing myself.
Rachel and I also had put in a lot of weekends. So yeah, I appreciate that feedback. I agree 100%. And just as an FYI for when I see Mike's hands raised, I'll just close with this. Linux Foundation, they did announce at the CC Summit that Linux Foundation will be 100% driving this event next year. So that is a shift. So if we have this feedback for Linux Foundation, I think it's an opportunity for us to document all of that. I'll put together a GDoc for that, and then we can share it with the actual events committee so they can be aware of it, of the things that the opportunities for growth there and improvements. So I'll hand it over to Mike. It looks like Mike's hands up.
No, I was just curious, for those that attended the CC Summit, what was your impression of the event this year? And what were kind of some of your big takeaways as in terms of the content and the themes and the audience reaction? I had to take off after the governing board meeting, so I wasn't there to see the event. And I totally believe you on the acoustic issues. We had one meeting in one room and you couldn't hear the person across the table from you. It was stunning how that
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, it was
see
bad. It was
that.
bad. Like the
It was
breakout. Yeah.
weird. I mean, it's just, I mean, maybe it's like because it used to be the US Mint, and so maybe it was designed that way. So, you know, nobody could hear the secret mint people talking about the money. But man, it was just a
Yeah.
sound black
So,
hole.
so,
Yeah.
so I think it was on the main stage, it was good. It was no problem. I think the main stage was like you can hear it and the audio was good. But in the breakout sessions, I literally like I was maybe a few feet from the presenters at times. And I was like, I could barely hear them talk. It was just I think the echo because there was no absorbing material on the walls or something like that. So I think it's very, because probably it's, as you said, it was the US Mint. So it's kind of the walls are very hard. So I think maybe the audio, this is the audio file in me. I think it was bouncing and kind of, yeah. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But anyway, but again, I think that's one. So to answer, I can give my feedback, my personal feedback on the content. The content was great. That's what. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that part was the positive thing. Like it's always. I mean, the topic is exciting, as usual, computational computing. Yeah, there was diversity of audience. I think the one thing that I also liked is the diversity of the at least on the keynotes, but also on the breakout sessions of like a good mix of technical and use cases. I think to me it was and I saw that over the years, right? Like I think it maybe my first participation was 2024 edition, and like it was but maybe more technical, and then it was I think now we're hitting the right balance because we don't want to go with like it becomes, in my opinion at least, like it goes like just like use cases. So like I think like topics for everyone, right? If you wanted more again, it's not like Linux plumber conference, right? Or some Linux kernel, developer, and that's not meant to be that way as either. But I think it was the right balance of content between technical and kind of use cases, and yeah. So at least
What
that was my.
did you feel like it was it drawing in new people, or were we, was it the OC3 crowd just in a
I
different
mean,
venue?
there definitely. Well, there was Apple. That's definitely. I think that was a kind of a good um, participation. Like I mean, they're not members. It would be great if they can join the CCC, but that's a different story. It's not like I think that would be really great. Yeah, but I think we'll expand the ecosystem discussions and so on. So, and I would say slightly more use cases than OC3, and this is not as a negative, but it's just kind of like I think the evolution. But even OC3, like this year, versus let's say a year before, had as well, I think, a little bit more um, use cases, I think, like sessions than I would if I compare OC to versus OC3, I would say a bit more diverse in terms of the sessions. At least that's. But if you look at the program, but also obviously I didn't attend all the sessions. Obviously there were so many, and there were some on parallel. But definitely the keynote ones were I think more diverse.
All right, cool. Thanks, Al. All right,
Any
that's all I
other
had. Rachel, go ahead.
feedback? Oh, go ahead, Mike. And I was asking if there are any additional comments or agenda items to discuss.
No, I think that covered it. But we appreciate your feedback, Mike. We definitely appreciate your guys' feedback. That real world experience. And there already is a postmortem document that was created. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel's always on top of everything. So what we'll do is we'll share that here in the chat, and then also or maybe we should share it via email, Rachel. That might be easier. So folks that couldn't attend will have the opportunity to add their comments as well, because there's a lot of folks that weren't able to attend today. So I think it's 8:31 Pacific time. So if there's no other business, I think we can conclude our meeting for today.
Sounds good. Yep, sure, will do. Thank you so much, Laura. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.